All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Hey. Leto groove ko tingena tirtitwana. So, moving right along, ne? We gonna have the panel discussion. Panel discussion, a little metawe kame ba butsati question kuyini yini, ne? But can I have from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Can I have 6 people, 1 per row? 6 people. One. Come on stage. Hey, we're not going to Tana. Yes. I need 6 this side. I need 6 this side. Or should I include the panel as well for this challenge? Yes or no? Yes, ne? Okay. I need the 2 of you to come on stage. Yeah. The 2 of you. Two more people this side. Yeah, done. How? Mungano min utwandla tana. So, we're gonna do, you know the Master KG wire challenge, ne? Yeah, you guys, I want you here in the middle. Here. This side. Yes, both of you. Yeah. Come closer. I need more people. 2 more. Done. Done. Because logono chika center from can go 1, 2. Done. So this video is for TikTok. This video is for TikTok that we're gonna do. Ne? So the challenge goes like this. When the song says tra-ta-ta, yakui matrin, tra-ta-ta-ta-ta. You know? When I say go to the right, you go to the right. When I say go to the left, go to the left. DJ? No, DJ, can you please start the song? And more volume, please. Dipache! Dipache! Oh, lo, lo! Oh, lo, lo! Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go! To the right, shake! To the left, shake! Take it out, go! Tap and go, cha, whoa! Aibo! Zegate, shake! Zegate, woza! Wololo! Arutsa Mayiruna! DJ, hold it, DJ. I just saw one more person come in, and she's gonna do it with us. Let's go, Mama. I need everybody to stand up. I need everyone to stand up. We're all doing this, ne? We're all doing this. So, it's like you're coming forward. Right, you go to your right. Left, you go to your left. Up, you go up. Challenge. You know what to do, ne? DJ, please start the song. Volume, please, DJ. I want you here. I want you here. I want you with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, pose. Yeah, boy, yeah. To the right. To the left side. Take it up, go. To the front, go. To the right side. To the left side. 1, 2, Deben go, so whoa. Zegate, everybody got out. I get out. Oh, la. I tell you what, out to you. Namka Senzimlando, say. Namka Senzimlando. Aibo. Aritza Mayiruna. Oh, la. Dibache. I get to winding a lala makai. I say what? Out to everybody perfect. Over. Out 2, out 3, out 4, out 5, out 6, out 7, Shayzanda. Woza. 1, 2. Whichever one. Hold. Over. Out 2. Over. Out 2. Over. Out 2. Over. 2, 3. Woza. Oh, 1, 2, the last one. 1, 2, say. Aibo. Lume popim, lume. Ready 2, ready 3, ready 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, chiga. I know. So, upon a discussion, we're going to have facilitator, Mr. Linda Yende. Mr. Linda Yende, are you here? Is he here? And then, opportunities for youth in the mining sector. We're going to have on stage Mrs. Bridget Matebula. Mrs. Bridget Matebula, please come on stage. I have a Belen Mawako. Kubomba ke. You may sit. So, she lays a camera, I'm taking the queen. Now, stop Sharasa, some meditate a camera, I'm taking the queen. Our facilitator, Mr. Linda Yende, are you around? DJ, do you have this so-called Manabafana Kwala? Do you have it? Look, I email Mr. Linda Yende. Okay, so while we're waiting for our facilitator, Mr. Linda Yende, I'm going to call again on stage Mr. Prince Hlapo. So guys, Mrs. Bridget Matebula is from ACOO.
From MQA.
Oh, there.
No, I'm the ACOO.
Oh, there. Okay, so she's from the Mining Qualification Authority. She's the ACOO. Do you mind telling us, Kushubula,
Shubula, Acting Chief Operating Officer.
Ms. Tula, Baba Sati, she's representing you. Come on. So she's the ACOO of Mining Qualification Authority. When we say women in mining, we refer to you as well, right? Yes. Way back, mining was male and white dominant, but these days we've got people like our ACOO here. So the next person I'm going to call, he's from the Bara Mining Services. He's the mining engineer, Mr. Prince Hlapo. Oh, my jive. Guys, remember, if I can do it, if they can do it, it means nothing can stop you from doing it 10 times more than we are doing it on stage. See, look, I was not born and get dressed like this. I had to work hard. That's why we go back to what? Keep your social media clean. But if you want to be in mining, agriculture, entertainment, don't post monthly. Our next panel of judge. Oh, okay. I believe Maboko. You go fika. Tatan. Logo somizi arla ataguyini. You are late. So, the next person I'm going to call Mr. Roy Shikwambana. I think Mabativa. He's the CEO of Foscore. Is it Foscore or Foscore? Mantakisa kumastiva. Ile kui? Mfane mbashabelela phela namuhla mtakumamtira. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of Foscore, Mr. Roy Shikwambana. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to call the CEO of Graselika Mining. This person is the CEO of a mine. Mr. Lazarus Nepembani. Ah, baya amba. Baya amba. Nendi mduro askwibiru. Yeah. So, Mr. Lindayende will explain what's gonna happen. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to be inspired? Are you guys ready to be connected? Are you guys ready to be transformed? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the panel on stage.
Thank you so much. Ayekiani? Ayekiani? It's great to be here. Thank you so much. Look, I think we're going to try and keep the conversation flowing. We're going to keep the conversation as straightforward as we possibly can. Still good? Can you still hear me? All right, cool. Okay. I think I'd like to start first by saying that, guys, you don't know how fortunate we all are. And I'm going to include myself because I'm a young youth. Ne? I'm an old youth. I'm an old youth. I'm going to include myself. I think there were times where most of us grew up and we had no idea that there's even such a thing as a career in mining. When you thought about mining, all you thought about was the guy that's digging with the hard hat and he's going underground. Correct? But somewhere along the way, you start seeing people who are this well-dressed and you realize, right, man, there's a bit more to this mining thing. And that's what today is going to be all about. We're going to have people that you can literally look at and look up to who can show you the potential, who can show you what is possible in the mining sector. So I hope you guys are excited. You excited? Yes. Yes. All right, great. Okay, so the intros have been done, right? Did you introduce everybody? Was everybody introduced?
You called us on stage.
Everybody that's on stage?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, I think the audience probably know more than us in terms of who has been introduced because you found other people on stage. But I think let's start first with just the conversation around scarce skills. You know, what are the top skills that are actually hard to find in mining? Please pay attention because this is important. And it's important because if a skill is scarce in the mining sector, it means that's a direction that you can look at studying towards because you will be one of those hard to find commodities. Does that make sense? All right, so, Mom Bridget, can I give you the mic on this one? Scarce skills.
Thank you, and are we still in the morning?
It's day. So.
It's day.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, our future leaders. And I'm from the Mining Qualifications Authority, and it's very important to understand what we're all about. We are a sector education and training authority. Our responsibility as a SETA for mining is to facilitate skills development in the mining sector. We don't do it on our own, like the CEO of TITA already alluded that we do it in partnership. I like the question that was asked, and it's going to be prudent that we customize the scarce skills in Limpopo, because we are in Limpopo, and I'm happy we do have, on my left, I'm well anchored. Yes. My colleague from Barra, and then we also have one as well on my right. I am going to explain how we come about these scarce skills in the mining sector. One of our responsibilities as the MQA is to conduct research, the research that will inform the skills development initiatives that we fund. You've heard about learnerships, work experience. The work experience, normally we assist bazaars that we are funding to acquire qualifications in various institutions. And we try to come up with a value chain as the MQA to say if you are allocated a bursary and internship. So I'm just giving a background so that we put matters into context. Once you have your internship, obviously your bursary will be informed by various skills in the mining sector. So for Limpopo, because we do have top 10 scarce skills as extracted from our submitted WSP and ATRs that we received from various mines. So I'm not going to misrepresent for Limpopo because we did not have figures for Limpopo. Hence, I said I'm happy we have 2 mines, and I'm going to allow them just to say from their mines, because they're here in Limpopo, and the MQA is here to say we can offer a bursary. The mines will open up workplaces to be able to expose you so that you qualify. And once again, once you graduate, you also need an internship so that you're exposed, because sometimes when you apply for opportunities, they'll say we want X number of experience. That's where we come in as the MQ. I'm sorry just to redirect, but I'm thinking if it's fine with you, rather let's allow the 2 mines to say, when we submitted the WSP ATR to the MQA, because they submit it on an annual basis, these are the scarce skills that we noted in Limpopo for our operations. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm told the mics are active, so you can actually just grab. Gentlemen, the ball has been thrown firmly into your courts. Please, care to respond? Prince, you want to go first?
Check my 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Do I need to press the button?
Don't. Let's see. Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Prince Nhlapo from Bora Mining. So I came forward today to represent the youth and to share my knowledge over the years as to how can the youth get themselves into the mining sector. And before I answer that question, I would like to attest to what my colleague next to me just said. I'm also one of those people who were historically disadvantaged. I'm a MQA bursar, proud of it. Also couldn't get my internship after graduating, and MQA helped me get the exposure, and today I'm here. Tomorrow it can be you as well. So the skills that we are currently in short of, mainly, it's qualified mining engineers. By that, I'm not just talking about people who can graduate and then hold the degree. We're talking about people who can make a difference in the mining sector. Not only the mining engineers. Of course, I'm prone to talk about mining engineers since that's my field. But there is one skill set that I can tell you about. Operators. We are in short of skilled operators. I'm talking about the jumbos and your AG-cars and the likes of that, the mining machinery. I can tell you that every time we get an expatriate from Australia, they are taking home at least 80,000, of which I believe it's something that you can also be interested in. And you as well can be that skilled operator that we are looking for. So, yeah, I think when it comes to operators, I can just close it there because, yeah, the graduates are there. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me for this conference. I'm literally feeling very hot. Can be allowed? Mining, Chief Co-Investment and Resources, and VTM Mining are my businesses. Grace liquor mining, the word grace liquor doesn't mean alcohol. Grace liquor is a combination of grace and silica, so we mine silica for metallurgical purposes, and we use it for ferrochrome smelting. Now, just to answer the question that has been asked with regards to scarce skills, it took me 6 months to actually found a mine manager who can actually successfully run the mine. I've operated with acting mine managers, people with skills that are not yet there. So it is very difficult to find mining engineers today in South Africa who are qualified, who had the paperwork and experience for that matter. So yes, mine managers, mining engineers are very scarce at the moment. And that was the biggest challenge for me. And to keep them as well, once you hire them, it's also a very big challenge because they control your production, they control, they manage your team in the mine. They are the CEOs at a mine level. So that is becoming a very big challenge. Geologists, in the other hand, they are readily available today, but to get well-experienced, well-trained geologists as well, it is very difficult. So on our other business, Chief Co-Investment, 3 years back we invested on getting to the investor vendor, where I come from, basically work with the departments to give us some of these best students who don't have bursaries, who needs to be exposed in the mining industries. We invested in that, in getting some of those students. We trained them, and then they went and finished their qualifications, and we absorbed them. So that way, we create our own geologists in-house, and that seems to work because then we know that we have empowered them with better skills. But if you go out there and hire geologists, most of the geologists that I've got 5, some with 10 years experience, they still struggle to grasp the concept because one, the environment that they were exposed in at the time when they were working all these years. So we do have a program in one of our businesses that we focus on some of these skills. Since we've ventured into the mining industry, in terms of the mining itself on the production, we have not really had a chance to develop mine managers or mining engineers. So we still have to poach and put advertisement of positions out there. For example, we are setting up a new site next year. I will be needing a new mine manager. I will be needing health and safety managers. There will be new positions all around advertised, and So these are the challenges that I know I have to overcome as a CEO in terms of placement of these critical positions. People who understand what they need to do. So there is definitely scarce skills in the industry. There is other skills such as resource geologists. There aren't many who are qualified, who are PR signed, who can sign off on competent persons reports. So that as well has to be developed. Fortunately, on the Chief Co side, we do have a very good pool of geologists that we are able to train, and we continue to want to take some of this. We take students who have not learned anything, who are from the university level. It's much better to train and give the proper skills. than to get somebody who has been in the industry for 5 years, but they don't know much and they think they know everything. So attitude as well matters. Behavior, like what was mentioned about social media and all that stuff, it cascades down to the operation level itself. We look at these things, how you communicate with us. I've hired, I would say in a broad spectrum of people, from white people to Indians. I've got Indian people reporting to me, white people reporting to me in my operations. So I don't only focus on only our own black people. I look at everybody and I know behaviors matter, how people behave, how they look at me and they want to talk to me because I'm black, or I frown upon such things. So your behavior must always be measured. It's not about whether he's a vendor person. I can speak to him on a vendor language and we can converse. Yes, I converse with all my employees. I sit down. I become one of them. But I prefer that somebody communicate respectfully, and they must actually know what they're talking about when we have discussions in terms of what matters. Every small decisions I'm still operating at what we call small business. So every small decisions that I took has got a financial implications. And that finance is not coming from FDI. That finance is coming from my pocket, and I need to fund. I need to make sure that end of the month there's money raised to pay salaries. Right now, everybody's waiting to receive their salaries. It's month end. That means I need to know where that money comes from. So if people don't take their job seriously, we'll be talking about CCMAs and firing and whatnot. But we prefer that people value opportunities that are given. Yes, we can talk about scarce skills, but there are a lot of people with qualifications that doesn't have the right type of skills that is required by the industry, and the attitude is just bad as well. So we need to work on that. We need to work on ourselves. I prefer to deal with professionals face to face. I'm a geologist by profession. I didn't just become a CEO. I work as a geologist in an exploration environment. I got exposed. I travel abroad. I've done projects all over Africa. I've learned, and then after I've learned, then I can implement. I can sit with engineers. I can talk to them about things that I understand. So you need to be able to learn. You need to be able to read. Don't be allergic to information in the industry that you work on. Read as much as possible. Understand. Converse with people. Learn. If you are a geologist or surveyor, or you are a health and safety manager, you aspire to be whatever position in the mining industry, don't close yourself into that industry. Learn everything, because if you want to start a business, you need to understand the whole value chain of the mining industry. And I think I've said too much.
It's actually interesting that right at the end you actually touched on the value chain. You know, when we started speaking about scarce skills, we started speaking about the things that are in demand. But the entire value chain is equally important. And as such, I think anybody in here who's considering a career in any field in mining can actually find an opportunity for themselves. And then I also like the fact that you touched on the fact that so many people will tell you that they're struggling to get jobs. They have a qualification, they're struggling to get jobs simply because they have no experience. Now, intriguingly, you just pointed out that what you prefer is actually somebody without experience, but rather with a good attitude. So your lack of experience doesn't have to be a stumbling block for you. It doesn't have to be the thing that prevents you from getting a job. Just have a great attitude, come in and be respectful. Just the value chain that exists in the mining sector, and you know the growth areas, of course, that young people can actually look at.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe let me just expand before
Sure.
my colleagues can add a few. I look at mining value chain in a I'm going to explain it this way so that maybe there will be an educational element. There will be an educational element on the mine value chain. So you have to look at it in terms of how mines get developed. How do you then end up having a mine operating, delivering value or delivering product to the market? Now, obviously, Mr. Macha, if I'm not mistaken, from small-scale mining, he spent quite a lot of time explaining the application process on the small-scale mining. Now, I will take it from there. Obviously, first and foremost, one has to be interested in the mining business, and one has to appreciate that South Africa, we have got mineral wealth of over 450 billion rand worth of minerals that have not, actually we have not even done a dent to them. They are there, they are on the ground, and they need to be explored and they need to be mined. So we've got wealth sitting on the ground. Guyana here, for example, there's Guyana Greenstone Belt. Okay, the Guyana Greenstone Belt, when I was at varsity in my first year, I learned about the Guyana Greenstone Belt. In my first year at varsity, I knew that there's gold in Guyana in my first year of varsity. Now, I'm mining silica somewhere around Stillport, not here in Pando or here in Guyana. But we still know that there is gold here in Guyana. So now, it requires people to identify that value, that is there a market, first and foremost, in gold? Is there there's iron ore in Guyana, by the way. Is there a market in iron ore in Guyana? Where is this iron ore located? And how can I develop it? Then you do the application. These are small part of the value chain. They don't even feature on the exploration curve of the value chain. Then once you've done that identification, who do you approach to actually give you that information? This is where now you will have the Council of Geoscience having some sort of information on the mapping that was done previously, collection of that information, development of that project. Then you then start putting those applications for you to get either your prospecting right or your mining permits or your small scale or artisanal application as he has put it, or the mining right after you've done the exploration. Now the value itself is when now you have the license that has been granted with all the environmental authorizations, you then need geologists who will then do the assessment and the planning of that exploration to happen. So now the geologist professions come in. The environmental profession has already come in during the application phase. So now all the environmentalists have done their job and they will continue to do their job through that value chain after the granting of that application. So they started doing their job during the application phase. Your EPs, your environmental practitioners, everybody, your specialist study heritage, if there is a heritage, air quality, whatever that is requested, they've already done their job from the application phase. Now they've told geologists how to behave before they started behaving. Now you get geologists coming on board and then they started developing the project. They start planning the borehole, where to drill boreholes, how many samples they need to get. The reason for that type of exploration, we call it exploration, is to quantify, to identify and quantify that resource that is on the ground and then give it a value. So then you'll have geologists and then you'll have drillers, drilling companies coming in with their operators. So you will have a whole host of people. You will have people putting money. You will have accountants. So that whole value chain starts from there. You will have local communities participating in that. Even when we call it exploration, it's a small activity, but you will have everybody now participating into that activity. People getting hired in the exploration side, camp setting up. That is a value chain on its own. Once there is a resource quantified, now mining engineers come on board. They start planning the mine. They start planning how to extract that value out of the ground. Now you start having even what we talk about investors, some saying investors from abroad, some investors from locally, start talking about billions of
rands of investment or what can be made in the project. That is the whole cycle of value chain. So the moment you are investing in all these chains, there will be employment happening at each and every level. There will be training of every geologist, drillers, every position, core cutters. You know, there are different positions in this space. And then you get into mining. Now, when you get into mining, every position that you can think of, you will have in the mine. We have got doctors that are responsible for the mine. You've got metallurgists. You've got every profession into that mine. So now you have broadened now the value chain in terms of skills that people need to get into. And then also, now you've got product that needs to be sold. Sure. You've got transporters that needs to move that product. You've got everybody now coming on. You've got trades now. You've got now overseas buyers. You've got ships now that needs to move that. That entire value chain gets created starting from somebody sitting here in Guyana and say, I want to mine gold. And I think there's gold in that farm. I will put an application. It's just that from a tiny, and with an interest. And then approach the right relevant people, like small scale mining guys. They said, yes, they do assist after you've put the application. There's a reason why they assist after the application. There are many people who go there and say, give me money, I want to apply. And then that application doesn't go anywhere. And then they lose money. So once you spend your own, no matter how small it is, money to develop, just to put an application, complete the application process, then you are serious enough to warrant an investor or somebody who wants to work with you to say, you have already put in your 100,000, you have already put in your 200,000, it's in there, it's locked in there, sure. And I'm coming in to assist you and take you to the next level. Then we are interested with that. But if somebody says, listen, I've got this land, we can apply, I don't know, you know, it's a different matter altogether.
To add on what my colleagues has just explained, he gave an overview of the value chain. Sure. So when we put it in context for a sitter, because we need to support our stakeholders, remember the money that we're using is from the sector, the levy that we get from them, so we need to assist. So one of the projects that was in Venda, my colleague indicated the importance of the small-scale mining department in DMRE. They do have regional offices. They identified a group of women who were mining stones and crushing it. You know, our vision as the MQA centered in it is to develop skills for the sector, but they need to mine safely. So as soon as they identified a group of women, they contacted us to say we need people trained, so we need to come in and ensure that they understand the issues of compliance. So we come from the training side of it because we're looking at the supply and demand for the sector and check how best we can assist. So another project that we came up with, one of the projects that we are funding as the MQA is your jewelry manufacturing and design. We had a group of 25 youngsters who were sent abroad in Italy to learn the trade. They opened businesses. They are employing today. So it's very important that we study and analyze the needs and we respond accordingly. So from the side of a sitter, we respond and ensure that we make provision for the demand and supply side. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. From the mining engineer side, I'd like to point out that those who understand economics know that there's primary activities, secondary activities, and tertiary activities. And
Prince,
primary activities...
Please hold it a bit closer to you.
The primary activities consist of agriculture, mining, fishing, you can name them, which is why I believe we were the first to kickstart the event because we are part of the primary activities. So to explain that value chain, we start with exploration drilling. Once the mineral resources have been proven and declared, then you can move on to the mining phase. like my colleague was explaining there, that now that you have investors, you can now begin your mining process. The mining engineers, once they get that raw mineral out of the ground, we hand it over to mineral processing. That's where the metallurgists are coming in, the chemical engineers. And then after mineral processing, then it's transportation to the market. And then from the market, and then it goes to the tertiary sector. That's how you end up having cars and your iPhones and your earrings. So going back to the mining, it is important to understand that our government, through the DMRE, which is the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, they have put together a document called an MPRDA, and one of the clauses in that document requires that anyone who wishes to apply for a mining permit, they need to put together an SLP, which stands for a social and labor plan. And now that's where you guys come in. That's where your opportunities are. So in that SLP, the mining right holder needs to put together a plan, to draft a plan that details how they are going to implement the human resources development plan. Also, they need to draft an employment equity plan, which will give advantage to the historically disadvantaged, which is all of you guys here today. And then the other point on that is a local community development, of which I think that speaks to you directly. Now, there tends to be a problem when it comes to local community. They are under-skilled, which is why when we want to implement projects, we end up outsourcing from outside, and then there will be controversies like we're getting people from outside and they came here to take your jobs. But I'm not trying to be controversial with you, but I just want to point out that let us drop the mindset of feeling entitled. We need to go out and work. We need to go out and work and grab those opportunities. So to wrap it up, the social labor plan is there, is put together in place. Each and every mine right now, they have it. And you can request the details of that plan. I don't know what is it that you are specializing in, but on their plan, they have stated how they are going to be assisting the local communities and everyone who is interested in the mining sector. It is your responsibility to go and look for that document, read it, and then spot your own opportunity and just grab it. Thank you.
Maybe just to wrap it up, it's indicated that we respond to what's needed out there. Based on the SLP matters, as the MQA, we saw that there are a lot of community protests in the mining communities because there is this narrative that the mines are employing outside the province. Yes, it's because there are no skills. And my colleagues has indicated that they were hard to fill skills. It means they took a long time to fill those positions. So as the MQA, yes, we provide opportunities for bursaries, but we had to come up with special projects. We call them the mining community projects or the youth development projects, because one of the key economic drivers in Limpopo is agriculture. And maybe you approached, you have a market like your spa, people that you can supply. Nothing stops you from putting together a proposal to say, I've identified a group of 20 unemployed that I want to employ in my business. And they require agricultural related skills, because as a SETA, what we're funding is 70%, which is core mining, but we do have provision for 30%, which is not mining related, because we need doctors. So when a mine says, in terms of my plan, remember I said we analyzed that WSP, which is a workplace skills plan, and their annual training report, they are indicating their needs, so we are responding accordingly. So we can engage further, but it's simple. Anyone with a business that will be able to employ, you can put together a proposal when we advertise. We do have a stall out there, we can explain further. But what you need to put in a proposal is simple. You're saying, I am company X. I've noted a need in Mahumani, for example. And this need, if we can be able to train 100 unemployed, we'll be able to create jobs because we already have a market and you prove maybe an SLA or a letter of intent from a person who says, if you start producing your tomatoes, I'll buy from you. Then you submit to the MQA. It can be a portable skill, your crop production, because food safety is very important, that you do have skills to ensure that you take care of those produce. Can be a 3 months or 6 months program. We give a grant of 15,000 for the duration of the training. But a winning proposal should have an exit strategy that will assist whoever is participating in that project to be self-sustainable. So it's one of the things that you need to take advantage of, because I've noted that amongst us today, we do have those who want to pursue career in mining, but you do have those who want to be employers, and we are we are encouraging that. Start thinking differently. Don't go to school and say, I want to be employed. Just say, I want to go to school and be an employer. We need people who think differently, come up with proposals that give solutions to the problems that we are currently experiencing as the country. Thank you.
I'll try and be short this time around. The issue on the SLP side, it's a very serious one. I've had many engagement in terms of this. Obviously, on the mining permit level, you don't need to have an SLP, but you do need to have some sort of community project in mind in terms of participating, developing where you are operating, what you are going to do for them. On the mining right point of view, yes, you have to put in a plan, a 5-year plan. SLP only exists for a period of 5 years and has to be renewed or reviewed and be presented again to communities every 5 years when the mine is operating. Now, the reason of putting it to 5 years is to make sure that whatever goals that you have put to achieve, or whatever budget that you have put for that 5 years, you have implemented it and to give progress after that 5 years, also to the department, to say what have you done for the last 5 years. Now, SLP speaks to the community. And the biggest challenge that I have found myself personally, sorry, I will speak mostly on the personal side of my businesses, it's that the definition of community comes into play. And how does it comes into play is that you have got local municipalities with IDP. Now, whatever project that you want to select and put into the SLP has to be the project that has been selected that is in the IDP. So which means you have to engage the municipality. And the municipality knows best what the community wants. Now, the biggest challenge is, let's say Giyani needs water, and a big dam has to be built. So that dam is not being built in Giyani town, and people can see it, all of them. So it's been built maybe 30 kilometers away. So now the community of Giyani, for example, will not see that dam. And so, as a mining company, we decided that we will put 8 million rand towards the dam. I'm just giving, for example, we'll put 8 million rand towards the dam or the development of the dam.
And that money is then allocated into the IDP because it has to be approved by the LED managers in the municipalities. They have to put it into the ID programs. And then we agreed that the money is going towards the dam. Now, we will be mining here closer. The community lives around us. We are mining here. The community don't see what we are doing. They didn't see anything that we have done because that dam is 30 kilometers away. That is where we have made an impact, but they don't see it. They want results there where they are. Now, you are forced to have to divide your resources to focus also to the immediate community that you have. And these discussions, I've had too much of these discussions in areas where we are operating to say, to engage, to rather bring in municipalities to sit with the communities and understand what is the immediate need of that community there. You focus on the project there and you still also focus on the bigger scale of the project. You divide that resource rather than to just allocate. Yes, obviously that would be a priority. The dam is a priority to supply water to everybody. But then when it comes to communities, now there's a division to say which community it is. That dam is supposed to serve greater community. Now, but the community that is impacted is this one. So this is where the challenge on the SLP that I found, and it requires quite a lot of engagement. And I think people must participate on IDP programs of the municipalities. They must raise what they need. And in fact, it starts from the ward level. Every ward has got a requirements that they put. They participate on the IDP, whether they need roads, hospital, clinics, and all that stuff. So I know I'm getting out of the mining, but I've seen this as being the biggest problem when it comes to SLP issue. Now, how are we engaging ourselves with communities where I do business? Now, a community must organize themselves. They must be well organized to be able to harness the opportunities that come from the mining. And the reason is when we come through, and we want to do business. For example, if I now start a mine here in Guyana, there is obviously a village. Guyana is a greater Guyana, but there is a village where I'm going to start that project. There is also local chiefs, and there is all this development. So people need to be well organized so that when we come through, we bring in opportunities. And I can tell you one of the opportunities for the mine that it brings is we can either give equity to the local community that we are operating at, and they can benefit and they can participate in the development of the mine, and they can be part of that mine as it runs. And they can have input in terms of immediate local community they need, in terms of bursaries, in terms of placement, in terms of what number they need from their own communities into the mine. That combination, communication and relationship with the mining company is very important. It removes the issue where community will then start complaining to say this mine only brings people from outside. But if there's a good relationship with the mine, and we've got what we call community liaison persons that works in the mine, that represent the interest of the community. They sit in these meetings, they understand the gap, they understand what skills. So you will agree on what skills can be filled up from the local level and what skills the mine can then go outside. But firstly, who has the first right of refusal? That is the issue. Sorry to take long, even when I said I won't take long.
No complaints at all. You know, I love the fact that you keep apologizing for it, but I think it's actually great that you are speaking from a personal perspective. This is not theory. These are learned and lived experiences that you are hearing. And I think for me, I don't know about the rest of you, but how often do you get an opportunity to have a sit down with the CEO of a mine so you can understand more about the inner workings of what happens in that mine? I know personally, I very rarely get an opportunity to sit down with a mine CEO. So I'm feeling big right now. I'm feeling important. But you know, the point is, I love the fact that there's been some talk, and I think the figure you mentioned, Bridget, was 70-30. 70% of the careers in the mining industry are mining related, while 30% are not necessarily. So these are people who do work with a mine rather than in mining. That's something to always keep in mind, that whether you planning to go into trucking, whether you're planning to go into waste refusal, whether you're planning to go into recycling, whatever the case might be, there's still opportunities in the mining sector for you. And I think that's something that I'm hoping will be a great take-home for, the young people here. What has the impact of technology been in the mining sector? I think that's something the young people, everybody's wanting to go more into technology. They're wanting to go into 4IR. Is there a connection? Is there a link there for them? Do you want to go first?
I think let me give it to them first because I tend to take long.
I like that participants to their audience, they are always on social media. That on its own says a lot that 4IR has changed the world of work. It's the new normal for us. And interestingly enough, yesterday we had a workshop at the CSIR with UP, because we've noted that we need to change the way we deliver training. A lot of mining is automated. You would find that when you were to prepare mining methods now and, 20 years back, different. For example, if you are pregnant, working in a mine, immediately you declare that, hey, I'm expecting. You don't go underground for obvious reasons because you need to be protected. But what technology has done is that automation of some of operations, like your operators now, you can operate while on surface. It means that pregnant woman then can be in an operator or is in a room where they can control on the surface. So I just wanted to simplify and indicate that we need to align. And one of the issues that I've noted is we need expertise when it comes to data analysts. So it's one of the areas that you can look into, because you need to be able to interpret data accordingly so that you are able to make informed decisions. So I'm going to stop there, but I just wanted to say, remember, the fact that you're comfortable on social media, the program director was saying, keep your social media clean, so use it positively. So there is potential, look into it. The CEO indicated that your attitude must be right. But what's important when you choose a career again is you need to check how you are wired as a person. You know what makes you tick or what gets you fulfilled as a person. But if you are a person that likes fault finding or problem solving or analytical person, look into the issue of the data analyst career related projects or subjects, because it's a need currently. The operation of drones, it's one area that we're seeing growing in the mining sector. And you know, how people support underground now is different from many moons ago. Then they'll use a stick and go down kneeling. Some people will be able to tell you that there's a risk because they conduct risk assessments. When we train our learners now, there's visual reality where you are able to take your learners in a workshop, and I take you through theory, but also I take you through a virtual training where you would feel as if you are underground. Then you'll be able to assess the risks before you actually go underground. So 4IR is definitely having an impact in the sector. Thank you.
One of the simplest definition I normally give when I'm asked what is mining I just simplify it by saying mining is a process of extracting raw mineral resources in a safe and profitable manner. The key words there, it's safe and profitable. So in a broad scale of mining engineering, there is people who are dedicated into research development. Day and night, they are researching to bring in new technologies that will improve our safety statistics and keep our businesses successful, because a lot of mines have went under care and maintenance due to the fact that they are running at a loss, because conventional methods of mining, they are labor intensive, and that labor costs are driving our operational cost high. So it is important for every individual who is involved in the mining to have that vision of the future and to keep up with the new developments. I myself, right now, I'm very much interested in data sciences. In my free time, I'm doing programming, not just doing mining engineering. So it's really important that we take this fourth industrial revolution into our minds. And just to leave you with one quote from Eric Hoffer, he's saying, "The learners shall inherit the world, while the land shall be properly equipped for the world that no longer exists." Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. For IR. Okay.
Can we just reflect on what he just said for a second? Okay. Before we continue with 4IR, I can't ignore that last statement. We cannot. We really cannot. And I think it brings up something that I would have hoped to talk about, but I don't think we will have enough time. And that's the issue of sustainability and the issue of environmental impact. Because you're kind of touching on that right now when you speak about, preparing for a world that doesn't exist. Do you want to expand on that just a little bit? Have you got a minute? Okay, please say the quote again. I might be doom and gloom here.
Yes, let me just repeat it and explain. I was saying it is really important for us to keep on working on ourselves. Each and every time you take a rest, your competitor is at the gym. All I was saying with that is that, let me reiterate the quote. Eric Hoffer says, "The learners shall inherit the earth," meaning that people who are always on the continuous development curve, they will inherit the earth. But those who think they have learned everything, they will be properly equipped for the world that no longer exists, because time keeps moving forward. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. I won't take long. Okay. You would have noticed that we have got drones flying around. That is part of the 4IR, and I'll give you an example in the mine. As CEOs, we sit in the office, we get drones flied in the mines, and we get to see how the operation is running sitting in the office. They run at particular time, and you get the information feed in. Whatever tons that moves, you get all the information. So there is a lot of computerization and live information happening. So one don't need to be at a certain place to get an information. I don't need to sit in the mine to actually make sure that the mine runs. I actually get more information sitting in my desk in Johannesburg than actually sitting in the mine in Limpopo. So there is a lot of, there's biometrics, we are using machine in open cast mining in underground, and the people who are operating those machines have to be very conversant and trained to operate highly sophisticated machines that are highly computerized as well. So which means we are moving into a much digital and space where your laptops, your phones that you operate on a daily basis, it's exactly the same thing that we are doing at work. There is no more you sitting in a desktop that is not connected. You could actually get information from where you are. So the world has changed. And also the industry, as we implement these systems, we're trying to cut cost as well, because business is about profitability and people as well. But at the same time, one has to work efficiently, and the only efficient way of doing business today is to make sure that you've got a system in place that works for you. And that includes, tapping into the current 4IR and actually predict what is going to happen in future, what is coming, what is new, what can help you to be competitive. It's all about that, gaining a competitive edge in the industry.
Thank you so much. We are being thrown out of stage. We literally are. We've been going on. We've taken all our time, but it's been such an amazing conversation, and I actually do wish we could go on. By way of closing, very, very quickly, can I ask you to please just very, very briefly, what is it that you'd probably consider the highlight of your mining career that young people can look forward to? Even at this stage, they should sit there and say, you know what, I can't wait to get to that point where I experience this. Lazarus, I'm going to start with you. Okay, so the question was, understandable. By way of closing, just a very quick highlight of your career in mining, which would be something that the young people can look forward to should they pursue a career in the mining sector. What would be that one big moment? And it doesn't have to be a big moment. It could just be an aha moment. It could be a whatever.
It's a very difficult question to answer. It sounds very easy. For me, obviously, when I chose to do geology, I chose the path into the mining. So that was the first choice made from the high school side to say, I want to do geology. Actually, my first preference was to be a mining engineer. And I find myself had to do geology. And the reason why I had to do geology was I couldn't afford to be sent to Johannesburg to VETS or to one of the biggest institutions like University of Pretoria to do the mining engineering courses. And so I was raised by my uncle and aunt. So they said, listen, we can only afford to send you just across at the University of Venda. So select something that is closer to what you wanted to do. So that is what happened to me, and that's the reality of things. So I'm saying this to you so that don't look at your situation and think that, no, it's a limiting factor. Now, I'll continue with that. So I went and do mining and environmental geology, and I loved it because then it incorporates both the geology and the mining together. I went into the industry. I was very vocal. I was very vocal, not in a sense of social media, but I love geology. I will attend conferences of geology. I would be the first person in class to talk about where the deposits are, and I'll raise my hand. So I love geology. So there is this thing, love. So you need to love your career. You need to appreciate it. It must be something that you are happy to do, even for free, because you love to do it. So that was the first thing that, then I get into the industry. I work hard, not for a salary. I was getting paid. I was not getting the right raise. I was not getting, what other people were paid. But what I had was the opportunity to work as hard and to work as harder than the person next to me who was hired with me. And what it has done is when I entered the industry, I then got an opportunity to go and do projects in Gabon and been put there as a graduate geologist with a whole team of experts. And then I worked harder there in such a way that they ended up giving me the projects to run. even when I didn't have much of experience, but I was well organized and I could learn faster and I could work. And then from there,
No, to his ones.
Oh, okay, no, I'm about to finish. Okay, no, I'll conclude. Okay, just to conclude. Obviously, I'll leave my story there. It was meant to show you that through hard work and dedication, you can grow. And you can learn as much as possible. I just didn't branch into business, but I knew I was gonna be good at the mining business. I'm not saying at the geology business, at the mining business. So I got to learn every facet of the mining, and I participated in the industry. And today, I know everything that I have to know in the mining industry, and I'm still learning. I learn every day. Thank you very much.
Okay, colleagues, you'll have to thank your colleague for taking away all your time. I think, thank you very, very much to all of you. I truly appreciate it. We truly appreciate you making the time. Please give them a big round of applause. Let's take a quick picture.
Thank you guys so much. Sekutonga man. So we're gonna go on lunch, ne? But awusuki stulin shawena bangazabami bitana row by row, ne? So we can end so. Loga comes to so ne? They will start, the ladies in green dresses, Batawa come bitana one by one. Our VIPs, you'll go outside to the marquee. I'm gonna call Salem now. Salem, are you ready?
Hi guys, don't worry, I'm not gonna take up any more of your time. I want to remind you, we are seeing your hashtags, inspired, connected, transformed, hashtag EmpowaYouth Weekend, but there's something else. MB2 solutions. I think you guys saw their table. There are some big things that they are going to be handing out over the next 3 days. They are a company that helps you register your business. We miss out on opportunities because our businesses are not what? They're not registered. So they are going to help us, all of us here, register our companies and also mentor us when it comes to business. So do go, do register, do go and find out, and please enjoy your lunch. Thank you.
DJ, so the ladies will start, I think, from the front, ne? You're starting at the back. Oh, wait. Okay. Are you starting that side? Guys, it's gonna be quick. Master Gwai, logo isungulala. Kuta sangan. So no, it's gonna be there's enough food. Stay so good, but it's gonna be fast. Uteka usuka.
walk your journey in your own lane, at your own pace. The popcorn, they get at the same time, go panning, I pop at the same time. Mara, they are popper.
We will anchor and take care of the costs for the tents, the food, and everything that will make this happen.
Do you know how I know you received it before you got here? Because you told your mind, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not coming back the same person.
And I've already spoken to the youth unit in the presidency. We must be part of the preparations for next year.
In 2020, during COVID, we became Edweek's top 100 fastest growing business in the world.
And I really appreciate the platforms and the engagement, and we're looking forward to partnering with you, because in you we see not only the future of Orange Farm, but the future of the country. Thank you.
And can you give me, out of these 5 young people that must go into ICT, I will give them bursaries.
The things that change our lives are not big things. They're the things that are right in front of you.
To migrate from being humankind to being kind humans.
I'm going to be forcing my officials, talking to my colleague Minister Nzimande, that a concrete program comes out of this place.
I think this is a brilliant type of event. I was speaking to Mr. Masiza. I think going forward, the Innovation Hub should partner with an event like this.
The young people by Mo Orange Farm, we are not going to leave you behind. We are putting down money that's going to help you with digital skills. Committee 1.4 million.
Empower Youth Transformation Program might just be its saving grace.
Empower Youth Week will hold a summit in Orange Farm, south of Johannesburg, to empower the youth.
Empower Works is playing their role in ensuring that youth are not left behind.
We offer a range of financial as well as non-financial support to young people across, sectors that speak to development.
Let me see your hands if you're ready. Let me see your hands if you're ready. Utomunye.
Ngicela ukuhlakanipha uvule ingqondo yami. Obesungi Aspino ngicela ukuhlakanipha uvule ingqondo yami. Ngicela ukuphumelela obesungiphane hlonipho. Aye, aye. Are you ready for the agriculture? Are you ready? Can you feel it?
Tell your neighbor, get ready. Tell your neighbor, get ready. Tell your neighbor, get ready. DJ Selector, give me a song right there. What?
Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's up? Wow.
Take your seat. We're doing this right here.
Wow.
They say if you don't take yourself serious, no one will take you serious. Say me dealing kahle ne? So, like with us one, during break, kuna lo anga ayabula kuyena yena mani amasteve. So basically, namunhla mabona le matendeni lawa ne. There's 50 people lava bangataba fanda. Today, 50 people. So I'm gonna call just one person to come and sell themselves. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I need 3 people this side. Quickly, come to the stage. 1, 2, 3. This side. 1, 2, 3. 4. Come. So I'm gonna give you chances, ne? Be quick. Sell yourself. Uyibzela ku wendla yini? Ushota yini? Ulaba yini ushota yini? Ne?
Namshoweta hinkwenu. Mina nihlala la Mabunda wo makampani farming solutions. Hina hi farma ti vegetables aka Nkomo village. Leswi hi xotela ku hi xona sweswi I fencing, and the problem ya hina I ku I between Nkomo A and Nkomo B se swiharhi swa in between swi nghena swi dya swakudya swa hina. So sweswi loko u kuma fencing hi nga va right ku already mati hi na wona, ndhawu hi na yona 3 hectares. Kahle kahle swilo swi famba kahle u lava fencing, loko u kota ku pfuneka hi nga va right.
So I'm giving you guys just a minute, because 4 o'clock if I never family la.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kayla Sirakela, and I am the founder of Kayla Space Beat. It is a beauty company, and we offer beauty services for events, and we also offer photography for events. What I'm lacking in my business is more equipment to be able to, yo, guys. The nerves are kicking in. I'm sorry. What I'm lacking in my business is equipment, because I want to empower other young creatives in rural areas such as where I come from, because I come from a remote area and the industry that I am doing is not well known that side. So I want to empower other creatives. Thank you.
Guys, loko sibona kusilungu xa kutimba, present this challenge shower, because we are. Can I have the mic up, please? Because I can't hear the sound on stage. Loko volabula isilungu vutlobaiza ya kasichangan udela van'wana kara swona. So you must decide whether English or Xitsonga.
Minjani? Mina Sagwad Chavalala from Kamakosha, and graduate from the University of Mpumalanga. I did agricultural production and rural resource management in extension. So because of Kukala Kamintiro, I decided to open my company, that is Masagwadi Agri Growers, that has private extension officers like me to help young farmers establish farms, and then to also help old people with new farming innovative techniques and all that. So I do have my own place that I also want to farm, because I cannot tell people about farming and they don't see what I produce. But my 10 hectares doesn't have fencing, it doesn't have water. So that is my challenge. The other things I've started with, because I also want to have a nursery and I also want to have my own farm. Thank you.
She's got 10 hectares. My 10 hectares equal in
Minjani.
Guys, look, you remember I gave chances in the morning and so on. So if I gave you a chance in the morning, I'm not going to be staging, because I'm giving other people the chance. So I'm not going to give you a chance. I saw.
Minjani? Mina Masuluka Onarin and Sokaka Malamle. Mina ni CEO ya company ya Onarin Imperial Logistics. So mina nilava funding ka transport company I mean. So transport company I mean I endlele ku kubana the job opportunities.
Hello everybody, Mina Nsaba Baloyi. I own Heart Rose Interiors. It's an interior decorating company. I've noticed that a lot of people like vacations and stuff like that because they are not content with their business spaces and their home spaces that they live in. So I want to make to be more than what they already are. So what I do need is equipment. Interior design needs you to have a lot of equipment and also supplies that you have. So what I need in my business is equipment to do interior decorating and design.
Minjani. Mina Kensan Macheke Numa Kangobe. Mina nakupfunwa hi mhaka ya investment ka business ra mina. Tani loko ni vurini earlier swaku I want to open a restaurant and like own things like an estate kwala around Giyani. So yeah, nakupfunwa hi sweswo swa investment. Thank you.
Minjani. Mina I'm Maluleke. No, Mala 14C. I've got and the t-shirt branding, and then layandeni na internet cafe live. Funa kubana ba xikolo to homework through network. So I shot at the computer na machine leyikulu for the t-shirt branding.
Unendela skipa xa Tsonga boy.
Minjani. Isagwati mthombeni ka n'wamarhanga ni vulavuri nyana ka n'wamarhanga ka Zava A. Ni endla poultry farming company yi kona yi register-riwini, everything is registered, ndhawu yi kona. Ni xota hi ti-incubator na solar. As mi swi vona ku load shedding yi le ku hi karhateni. So loko no kuma ku fandiwa hi ti-incubator na solar na hoko leyikulu because leyi hi yintsongo ta va right.
Minjhani? Mina hi mina Balo Idzunisani. Mina ni xavisa tihuku leswi ni lava ku pfuniwa hi xona a ku ri ku ngetela hoko na xilo xo dyela tihuku na solar ya loko gezi ri famba ku tihuku a tikulu ku nga ri na gezi.
That was exactly 30 seconds.
Minjhani? Mina hi mina Nhlanhla Masingi from Jim Galalume. Ni graduate at TUT Animal Production. Leswi ni xi lavaku experience, then I want to start my own farm from there.
Hello. My name is Mr. Yellowbone. I'm Ruji. I'm a performing artist and we specialize with songwriting. We make beats, we do productions. We just don't have cameras. We want to have music videos as well. And we do quarters. If you want some fried chips, we have the dopest ones, okay? The Mr. Yellowbone ones and the Amen pancakes, and I have Amen Foundation. Thank you.
Aye, amkelan majeke kufika kusukisela ka Thomo. Mina ni lava ku pfuniwa hi ndhawu. Hikuva amasunguleni mina loko ni register business a ni kumbexani ni ta kuma swa ti-contract. Van'wana va fika va ni byela ku ri leswiya swa a swi kahle hi mhaka ku ri ku hava vanhu lava nga ta ku fikelela hi ku u le kule. Se u fanekele u endla swa ti-farming. Se ni kombela ndhawu ni hava mali ya ku endla sweswo. Inkomu.
Minjhani? Vito ra mina hi mina Lungile Hlongwani ni huma ka Mapuve. Ni sungule business ra ku xavisa tihuku. Ni sungule business ra mina ra ku xavisa tihuku, so ni xota hi malayiti lama ma tihuku na swo dyela na tifeno cause sweswo wa ka hisa.
So I like the fact that most people labarla it's people who are on farming. Yeah. It's people who are on farming, national agriculture. Look, at first we were talking about mining. I saw. So now we're going to the agriculture side of things. The program goes as follows. We have masterclass, touch points along the agricultural journey. Where are the gaps for youth? That will be Mr. Luvuyo Mani, CEO of YIB Solution. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Mr. Luvuyo Mani, CEO of YIB Solutions. You can do better than that. DJ, how about that shit? Mr. Luvuyo, they want you to dance.
Hello, 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 hello. You know, the problem with doing anything after lunchtime is people tend to be tired. You know, when I was in varsity, you know, these ladies here reminded me of this thing we used to call a quarter pounder deluxe. So every Friday we would buy a quarter and a quarter beer. We would eat the quarter, drink the beer, and then pass out for 2 hours on a Friday afternoon. Very unproductive. So I'm gonna ask If everybody can please stand up, please. And let's get the blood circulating. Can everybody please stand up? Hands in the air. And wave them around like you just don't care. So that was for my entertainment. Thank you. You can sit down. I would actually prefer a roaming mic. I feel very, if you guys don't mind, might please have a roaming mic, if that's not too much trouble. Okay, the name is Luvuyo Manyi. I am CEO of YB Solutions. I used to be youth. Just a year or so ago, I expired. But I'm a youth activist. I am an advocate for youth entrepreneurship. So everything I do, let me come to you. I'll come to you. Awesome. Hello, 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 hello. Louder, louder, louder. Okay. Do I have your attention? Did I miss something? Okay, so I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I was in high school. And why I like to mention that because I started with just ideas, which a lot of you come from. I loved to hear that some of you, especially UCC, in terms of what you're doing in agriculture, have already started doing some stuff. So in my journey today, I'll first tell a bit about myself, tell you what I've done in agriculture, and some tips and things to consider when developing your business or entrepreneurial journey in agriculture. Because I think there are a lot of things that are within your hands that you can't see, some things that you don't see, right? So about myself, started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 16. Many ideas, many failures, no support systems. I didn't attend lovely conferences like these. But eventually got it right at some stage. And incidentally, it was in agriculture. And it took till I was 26, my first big project in agriculture, right? I studied finance, and now I'm going to be studying mathematics. Very disconnected from agriculture, but my focus has always been on problem solving. My interest has been around how do I solve problems for my society, and that's actually what found me in agriculture. So it took solving a problem in the Free State for me, which was how can I help communities create sustainable income so that they can continue to feed homes, right? Their homes, their children, take their kids to school, pay their electricity bills and so forth. The other problem I was trying to solve was how can they create their own sustainable energy? And I'll come into that about biogas in a moment. And I think where it really starts is understanding the ecosystem of entrepreneurship. Right? You first need to understand that there are about 3 pillars, and I'll say 3.5, but 3 main pillars, which are understanding your skill sets, the skills required in that particular industry of choice, the funding requirement, and where to get that funding, which you'll learn a lot about tomorrow. 3, the market access, whom are you selling to? A lot of the times when entering into any venture, forget even the sector, there's a disconnect in understanding what you're selling and who you're selling to. In other words, what problem are you solving? Right? Why are you starting a farm? Why are you starting agriculture? Is it because you want pocket money? Is it because you want to pay for school fees? Or is it because you want to service society? Those different problems develop different solutions. And some of those solutions become unsustainable. And I think it's important to understand how does one create sustainability in that space. So within agriculture, my specific experience has been in pork, so farming pigs. We had 10,600 pigs in the Free State and 110,000 chickens in the Free State as well, right? But
this was the trick. It was through collaboration. We not own one big farm of pigs or one big farm of chickens. We actually collaborated with 90 farmers. And I think the important part around understanding this is that in trying to service the big market, we needed to understand that we needed to be of commercial scale. Now, in different commodities, you'll know that there is a need for commercial scaling. For example, if you've got a 10-hectare farm and you want to do commercial farming in potatoes, 10 hectares is not big enough, right? You need about 120 hectares, for example. The question is where you're going to find 120 hectares. But maybe you can find 12 farmers of 10 hectares where you guys can work together and then service a SPA, right? A SPA group who would buy from you, right? So I think it's important to understand in your different commodity spaces what you want to farm. Equally, understanding as well your geographic location and what you service. It's my first time in Guyana, by the way. And I think it's been a pleasure in my past 24 hours to be here. So when I posted on my timeline, somebody asked me, hey, bring back some avocado, bring back some mangoes, bring back some lychee. Apparently they're everywhere. Now, I don't know if you know this. Do you know how often or how much avocados are required back in Johannesburg? I'm from Johannesburg. Do you guys know that? Okay, are any of you sending avocados there? Okay, problem X, solution here, right? 2, do you know, when I was discussing this at another forum, somebody says to me that, no, they have avocado farms in any village, in their gardens, and some of the avocados fall and they even rot in their gardens. Is that true? Okay. What do you guys do with that waste of those avocados? Sorry? You throw them away. You know you're throwing away gold. Ah, my man, who said biogas? Okay. Are you doing that? Fine, that's an idea, but are you doing that? You guys have load shedding here, right? Okay. And what do you normally use power for? Cooking and heating, mainly. Lighting is not difficult to solve. We can do candles. But cooking and heating is very difficult to solve for, right? Now, biogas. Biogas is that fermenting smell, right? That is produced mainly from your waste vegetation of any sort, from manure, vegetables, whatever you call it. You put that in a bag, it actually ferments, but there's actually a scientific process to it, which is not difficult to do. You can make your own gas, right? There are complex ways you can do it, where you can power cities, and there are very, very informal ways to do it, where you can make your own cooking fuel. So my point is, you're sitting with a heap of a solution, right, that you deem as a problem. And I think in the approach to understanding what the problem is and trying to solve for it, you'll then be able to uncover what type of solutions then can be produced. Are you guys aware of the juice, cereals, and liquid fruit? Yes, no? Do you know how many mango farmers supply cereals and liquid fruit? 2, white-owned, from this province. 1 is in Tzaneen, if I'm not mistaken, right? At one stage, when Tiger Brands used to have, enterprise, the pork, they don't have it anymore. Do you know how many people were supplying the pork from them? How many pig farmers in the whole country. When you eat Enterprise, Vienna's, Russian, Polony, ham, you name it. Can you guess how many were supplying the pig farm, the pigs to Tiger Brands? Guess? 6. All white. I think 2 weren't even South African. One was Dutch, one was Danish, right? And it's not because we can't farm mangoes. It's not because we can't farm pigs. The challenge is commercial scale, right? So the barriers that come in with any kind of farming, for it to be sustainable. So sustainability, what I mean by that is your ability to continuously do that same activity and make it profitable over time, right? Over and over, being able to attract a market and grow it over time. So that creates growth over time. So that is sustainability, right? And I think it's important for you to understand that if you're going to farming, even if you choose to do it small, it's not a problem. But you need to understand the scale in which you need to be ready for you to be able to access certain spaces. So some of the challenges that are faced by some of these farmers who are not growing, but I have got the skill set, is because the capital required to meet the standards, right, to supply to a Tiger Brand, to supply to a Woolies, to supply to a Pick and Pay, require money. There are regulations in place, and I think it's important when going into any sector, agriculture is definitely one of them, is understanding what are the requirements by industry for you to be able to sell them. So with liquid fruit, what they require, so it's an ISO thing, right? Those mangoes that are cut up at Woolies, even at Spar, the ISO requirements is supposed to enable them as a quality check that they must know what was put in that farm's soil, what was used in the product, so that they can certify whether it's an organic fruit or it was an inorganic fruit produced. That quality standard needs to be consistent, so they need to know from soil to shelf what was in it. Those requirements are critical. These requirements, unfortunately, require capital for you to figure out, to research, to know. There are various commodities that are very, very complex, but also there are various ways for one to be creative, right? And I think it's very, very important. One needs to understand, how do I, one, collaborate when I lack something? So I have this thing where I always tell people, work with what's in your hands. On the stage here, we had people in agriculture, there was some marketing people, there was one person in logistics, there was one person in entertainment, which I found very interesting, and then the rest, unfortunately, I got lost in translation. But just to use the ones that I understood, right? I mentioned that there's a demand, for example, for avocados in Johannesburg. You had one person who's a farmer, you've got one person who might have a bike or a truck. Those are two aspects of the value chain, right? Primary agriculture, logistics, right? Now you just need one clever person to figure out where the market is and how to reach them. You guys are all familiar with social media. Now, I don't say this lightly about the influence of social media and marketing and content development. Instead of just selfies, how about you use it as a platform for e-learning, for people to learn? How about you use it as a platform to then gain access to people you can't reach because maybe there's no mode of transport? Because a lot of these digital platforms, what they're now doing, they're now enabling one to trade without me leaving my seat, right? So being able to connect that, and I believe sometimes there's an obsession around connecting to people on the panel, people on the stage, where the solution sits amongst all of you. And there has to be a deliberate intention to collaborate with each other. Because I'll give an example. When I got into agriculture, I was solving one thing. How do I make this profitable coming from a finance background? I then had to learn what it meant in agriculture. I had to learn what it meant in finance Before I knew it, I was developing my own solar and biogas plants, right? Before I knew it, I was developing my own potato farming ventures as well, right? Now we're working on an agricultural development fund. That's where I'm at now. And that journey came with me saying, I have got my 2 cents to solve this bigger problem, but what is the problem? I'm trying to solve food security, right? In the communities that I come from. So I'm a Free State, Northwest, Eastern Cape boy. I'm all from all around. So I've been trying to solve problems in those particular sectors, right? Are you all familiar with the commodities of agriculture? At least for those who are interested in agriculture, the commodities that are farmed in this province alone. So give me your top 5. What can be farmed? What fruits and veggies can be farmed here in Limpopo? Citrus, yes, that's a big one. Yes, that's a big one. Of course, that's a big one. So we've got citrus, we've got tomatoes, we've got onions, yes. Bananas, yes. Peppers, yes, that's true. Pawpaw, Okay, so you also have, no, you guys are all correct, and avocados and wheat. Now, do you know, with a lot of these things, do you know the SPAR group can buy from your farm directly if you produced? Okay, let me take it a step further. Do you know that there are companies, big listed companies, that are prepared to fund you by producing some of these commodities here? Okay. Can you name me 5 of these companies? No, companies, not funding institutions, companies. Companies that produce these things. Can you name me 5 companies that would fund you for farming these commodities? 5. Yes, ma'am. ZZ2, yes, that's a big one actually. Ubani? Okay, I did not know that, thank you. Who else? Okay, let me help you with some obvious ones. You've got McCain, right? You've got PepsiCo, so let me break down PepsiCo. PepsiCo owns Pioneer Foods. Who's Pioneer Foods? Bokomo. Your Bokomo brands, right? Liquid Fruit Series Juice. They will fund you, and they will also buy from you, okay? You've got Tiger Brands. Who's Tiger Brands? Tiger Brands owns All Gold, so they'll buy your tomatoes, right? Tiger Brands owns your mayonnaise products, so they'll also buy your egg yolk, right? And they'll fund you too. And then McCain has got your refrigerated, your frozen veggies, right? Your peppers and stuff. And then SPAR Group buys your fresh produce direct as well. These are the easier ones. However, the challenge with some of these funding companies, these companies that do the funding, they want to be able to see your ability to grow. They want to be able to see your ability to do scale. The challenge that people don't know when funding, when it comes to agriculture, is that they have a target. And this is where I hope I can give you some insight. So if they need to buy 10 tons of potatoes from you, they need to ensure that those 10 tons are there every day, or every month, or every harvest period. And that's why collaboration becomes important. There's a thing called aggregator farms, and what we then do, and this is what my company does, we identify really, really good high growth potential farms. We group them together per commodity. So I'll find 10 potato farmers. Like now, for example, I'm looking for mango farms, right, for archer production. So we'll group them, and then we obviously design them according to what will that scale of output look like, and determine obviously how we can group them together, train them together, share resources,
Because obviously, there's no point if there's 5 of us having 5 trucks, whereas can be 5 of us maybe having 2 trucks, and then synchronizing delivery, collections. And then there's one very important aspect which just gets overlooked, especially when it comes to crop farming, which is soil management, right? There's a big company called Omnia, and I worked with Omnia quite a bit in the past, and I think ZZ2 does the same, where they trained the farmers, including myself at the time, on soil management and understanding the needs of the soil, where we either over-irrigate or under-irrigate, and also planning for drought and planning for rainy seasons, and how do we prepare for that? Have you ever wondered when there's drought, all the small farmers collapse, but the big farmers are fine, right? The yields might even drop a little bit, but actually they're fine. And what actually happens is that their soils have been prepared. So they've gone extensively in research in understanding the climate cycles, and they've also invested in treating the soil, that it retains obviously nutrients longer without the need of irrigation. Obviously that is an issue. The last matter I want to cover on the agriculture side is when identifying land. I think it's very, very important to understand your borehole systems, right? To understand what are your irrigational paths. In mining, for example, and I'm sure it was covered earlier, before the guys go have mines, and they know where the seams of minerals are flowing. So we know this space is your iron ore, there's platinum in this province. You're not really going to come here and coal as well, right? And if you go even more north, you'll find even copper. But these seams have been investigated, they have been understood, there's data. So when the guys go and prospect, they may not know 100%, but they've got a good sense of where the certain minerals will be before they then prospect. Equally with agriculture. There are certain climates, there are certain areas that one would need to understand that they can farm certain products, but equally from a financial perspective, understanding access to water, access to irrigation, where there isn't immediate watering systems available, right? So understanding I think it's called the hydro, I'm blank now, the hydro network, essentially, below the crust, that there actually are maps that indicate this. So know your research in this space, because then all you then need to do when applying for water license is knowing you need to plug in your borehole, being able to access essentially nature's solution for water and irrigation. Because that now becomes a huge, huge challenge, one during drought and even during rainy seasons when some of the water base levels rise and can also disrupt your ability for some of the crops to actually stay grounded in the soil. All right. And I think for me then that becomes the most critical part when understanding the geography, one, but also market access, right? When it comes to agriculture and agricultural development. I think also in some of the journey, and I'll come to now the biogas, the gaps that we don't realize is that when we investigate biogas is probably, I think, the least spoken of renewable energy sources. But also there's this thing called baseload, right? It's the one type of power outside of fossil fuel where you can deliver consistent flow of energy.
2 minutes left.
Sorry? Provided the storage capacity is adequate. And I think this is the one gap in the agricultural space that is then missed when it comes to energy production because of the gaps that are missed, the solution that can be created rather by the wastage that is then discovered or created either by overproduction in certain areas or misuse of certain production, like the gardens that have now waste products of overripe or unused fruits. The other, there's a lady who was in the makeup space, and I think this is where some opportunities are now missed when it comes to applications and different uses and industries that are now required in industry, right? So myself as a health person, I always look to organic products. So I always look at ways one can produce health smoothies with some of the fruits and some of the vegetables like kale and avocados, quite a big one. But also in the beauty products, there are various ways one can extract various oils, and I think there's a huge potential in the agro-processing component. So the Department of Agriculture, for example, funds agro-processing quite at length. There are initiatives like the Black Industrials Program, which is from the DTI and the IDC, which I'm sure you guys will hear about in the next segment, around funding agricultural and agro-processing solutions. And I think this is a very exciting part around agro-processing. Right, so to give you an example, right, around money. I think I may have lost you guys there. So maybe let's talk money, right? Do you think millionaires can be made from farmers? Yes, no? Really? What type of millionaires can be made from farmers? Right? How much money do you think one can make from farming? Give me an example, like realistically. Right? 50K. So when I was 27, we done a project, 55 million, right? And it required a lot of funding from government and private sector, right? In the mango production, right, people are making in the millions per month. Equally in the chicken production, one can make hundreds of thousands per month. The scale of money that's in agriculture is enormous, right? But we also included high performance concrete at the time. And I think it's really important you understand the scale, and equally important you understand where you can also start, right? And I think really just to end off, the most important part is around collaboration, and I think understand what you guys have amongst yourselves to work with each other, and then understand how you can take things forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Linkwashaner, may I tell you what I'm one person to tell me what I'm playing. What about for me? Okay, so we're gonna play 2 videos there. Taban laba banga the beneficiary from this organization, ya EYW, ne? Their names, Khunzi and Winnie. So you're going to see the journey, funding, and where they are today. We ready for the videos?
Born in Orange Farm. I attended my high school go MH Jusap. I was using a train to go to school, and then when I went to grade 11, there's a competition I entered, a step up to start up, and I was motivated to be an entrepreneur whereby I had to create something that's going to help the community or the environment. My grandfather would take me to the garden, even during school holidays, to work at the garden. and he would wake us up with my siblings ka 5 o'clock ke bona nkare ke abuse. But then as ntse ke hola, then ntse ke ya more bese ke rata like agriculture, the farming. My grandmother would produce jam for us. So after matric, that's when I started to ask her to teach me how to do the jam, because one of the good days when I arrived, like in the jam, then Cambodia, like I said, it's a shop, then I reached a shop on your high. Then she told me why then she taught me how to make the jam, the recipes, and so I improved on it when I took the training, like following the right method, because they were using like the old method, but I'm still keeping the recipe the way it belongs. I came to attend the Empower Youth. So when I came to attend, I met those people again, and I was happy to be there. Then I updated Bona as Ozaza from Empower Youth, of which the previous year I met her to me again. So I started to share my story with them, telling them how far I am. Then they were impressed. So they once invited me to their session in also to June 16. So it was a good session, of which it was based on manufacturing. So I had to happy more to share my story with the people from Soweto, and they even gave me an opportunity to go with them to SABC, of which it was a live interview to talk about the event and talk about like my products. So it was a nice opportunity for me, like to talk about all day jam in that big audience of people, and get to meet like big people who some of them assisted me going further, because sometimes assistance doesn't come in a way of giving. Assistance can come in a way of connecting you with another person. The challenges that I had, it was the product testing, because like most of the people used to tell me, oh, you can't get into like big retailers because the product has not been tested and stuff. Then I went to NYDA. So like I started to trend on social media, getting a lot of followers and a lot of radio interviews, TV interviews. Then that's when I went to NYDA to attend a business management course. Then during that time as I was attending, I went to Innovation Hub to do the pitching for my own business. Then I got to enter the program at Innovation Hub. So for NYDA, I took the business plan. So for Innovation Hub, when I arrived, I assisted of which the marketing materials, the trainings, the financial management trainings, the food safety trainings, the quality management trainings. So then as they assisted me for Innovation Hub, those trainings, that's when I started to warn, okay, these are the things that I need to do. Product testing, have food safety in my facility. I have to renovate my facility to meet those standards. So I went on. Then Innovation Hub this year early, they introduced me to Wakanda Food Accelerator. Wakanda, then they started to assist me like how far am I like in my business. So they helped me product over tested to CEDA. So the CEDA paid for the payment to go SAPS. Then the things were the samples were taken go SAPS for testing. Then they paid for the membership Proudly SA. Then they also assisted me with the barcodes, the GS1 barcodes. So the Shoya Sunlighter assisted me a lot, because ka Shoya Sunlighter available regular ditamati, dipieri, an irrigation system, a laptop, and they also bought me they also got a sponsor for me from Bonpec for the bottles. So I'm getting bottles from Bonpec. They gave me a batch of 1,000 bottles. So whenever like I run out of production, I'll be going back to them and they'll be giving me bottles again. So what's nice again now, because I won't be even buying like the stickers anymore, because the bottles will come like steadily branded already. Now when I started my story, like I was starting getting money from but then it was not enough money. So like now I have a business, but then I still love the culture. So why don't they like barekise jam, then they gain commission from the bottle of jam that they sell. So right now this facility just needs a COA. So the thing that's keeping us all to the SCOA is running water inside Wabo. So the next steps that we want to take now, re go like more fundings, try to source out more fundings while we still pushing and selling the product, because we can't always like depend on fundings. We also have to push to sell. The next level, once we have those things, we will start like going to retailers, because we are not that far to go to the retailers, because right now we're supplying 2 stores in the Western Cape that order from us and they sell. Then here in Gauteng we do not have any store that we provide, but we've got somebody who sells for us, again 2 people in Boxback and in Soweto. They don't have stores, they just stock, then they resell. The top 3 tips, the first one is discipline. I'm going to stretch it out in which way. Don't never underestimate anyone, because like you don't know who you will be talking with, and you always have to respect people. Where it's either umdala or umncane yabo. Respect is important haholo. Then the next thing guys, whenever there's a session, go. Don't say or if maybe somebody is disappointing you, or don't say it's far, because now Innovation Hub, I met Innovation Hub some event that was not even formal, but then Innovation Hub today assisted me like how. Don't be scared, the third one, don't be scared to start.
Hi everybody, I'm Winnie Lamani. I attended EmpowaYouth Week in Orange Farm 2021, where I had an opportunity to pitch my fast food restaurant idea to the MEC, who then unlocked doors for me, who helped me meet up with people from GEP who helped me start my application to set up this restaurant. So I've opened recently, and I have 4 interviews for young people coming, because the importance for that is when they come in, they'll have people that are experienced, and that's where you have the betterment, or the skills transfer. So when I attended EmpowaYouth Week, this place was just remote land. There was absolutely nothing here. So what EmpowaYouth has done, or is doing for youth, is that it brings people that can unlock doors for you. So we're going to set up a shop, an express supermarket. So we're taking this puzzle shop experience, we're elevating it to another level. And I think it's important for our youth to take advantage of that. This is our legacy. Our grandfathers ran us puzzle shops. They're not in our hands anymore, but we can get them back if we do them right.
Okay. So, Mr. Silukumela, Ms. Bonile, so we left with 1 speaker, just 1 speaker, and then so the next speaker, it was supposed to be Dr. Innocent Shirova, ne? From The Future is Agriculture. She was going to be coming from AgriSeta. So, instead of her, she couldn't make it. Please kindly welcome Midupi Shawangu. Come on, guys, come on. Where's the other mic? Go up there. Yeah, this way. Yeah. Mr. Midupi Shabangu, come on, let's go.
Tobela, legai. I get Male Ausbeth Amola, she will correct me if I'm wrong. My colleague is here, Dr. Betha Letsualo. She works with me from Go Agrisita. She comes from this place. She will talk to you where specifically she coming from. Look, my name is Midupi Shabangu. I work Go Agrisita, which is an institution here. It's funding a lot of people got training in agriculture specifically. I'm standing on behalf of Dr. Innocent Sirova. He said I must pass his sincere gratitude. He couldn't make it, Kabakala, other commitments. But look, it might be the first and the last time we have this conversation. Today it is 26 or 27? 27. There will never be another 27th of October 2022. This might be a life-changing moment for you. Ne? I need to ask a simple question. Okay, not a question. Whatever you are wearing, whatever you are eating, whatever you are drinking, it's someone's business. Because you bought those clothes, agar? You ate food that you paid for. Somebody's selling the food. And most of us, when we left home, we ate bread. Most of us ate lunch. Most of us, you are going to sleep. Ujilebo, papa, whatever you are eating it with. Nah? During the day, you drink Coke. It's someone else's business. You follow me? But you see, this is the problem about that business. It is not yours, it's not mine. But it's taking money away from you. You follow me? So now the question is, how do you individually put your hand in the pockets of those that have money and sell them food? I'm talking on the context of agriculture. You follow me? Now, the last time I came to Guyana many years ago, before COVID, there was no mall. You can see where the economy here has grown. There's a lot of money. It's a cash economy. Ne? If it's a cash economy, the question I'm asking you, are you going to keep on paying and not getting some people to pay you for something that you can sell? Either food or anything else. Ne? But I want to tell you one thing. The reality of what we are having is that we have got a crisis of unemployed young people or unemployable young people. Or the economy is not creating a lot of jobs for young people to be absorbed, all of them, which is a fact. Now, the challenge also that we're having is that we have got a crisis here between 15 and 24 years of age, young people that are unemployed. And these unemployed young people, some of them are parents. They must feed their own children. Remember, everybody, youth, it ends at 35, ne? But most of us here, I'm 34, most of us here who are 35 have got kids. So then you start asking yourself a question. Does it mean if you are a young people, you cannot be an employer? Does it mean if you are a young person, you don't have kids, you are alone? The answer is no. Does it mean if you are a young person, you can't have employees that work for you and you pay them? The answer is very much no. But then the question is, what is it that you are doing that will actually put you in a place where you can be able to sell something and you get something out of it? That is the challenge this country needs at the present moment. This is the challenge young people of this country must meet robustly and engage and make sure that we play significantly in the economy and add value and create the necessary jobs and build enterprises. If indeed your hometown didn't have money, this mall was not going to be here. Agri people are selling there. The question is, what are you selling? What are you producing? You follow me? How many of you are in agriculture by show of hands? You are very few, ne? How many of you have eaten lunch or before lunch? All of us. So the issue is that we have got 3 or 5 people who in this space are the ones who produced quite significant food for us to eat lunch. So then the question is, we are going to have a challenge in terms of us not actually doing anything. But the government where it's sitting is encouraging young people to be involved in agriculture, because even until the second coming of Jesus, for those that believe in him, people will still be eating. People will still be drinking. People will still be dancing, for lack of better words, like our host here. So that we need to get to a point where we are asking ourselves a question. The potato that you eat tonight, who produced it? And who's eating your food that you have produced somewhere else? Whether it's spinach, whether it's carrot, whether it's something else. So that is the reality that we are facing today. And secondly, we have got social clubs, stockfels, we have got funerals and weddings, parties, birthday parties. People must eat every time they congregate. Either they eat chicken, the veg, they eat whatever they are eating, rice or stamp. The question is, are you running a catering company where you can cook? Yes, I can cook, they will hire me, I will cook. 2, are you producing the very same food that they are going to eat? If the answer is yes, then it means you are going to get money. Do you have a tent similar as the one that is outside that you can hire it out? The answer is yes, I'll make money by hiring events management. The 4th question is that we have got an MC here. If there's an event here, there's another event in another village, we will need another MEC to run parallel. Are you an MEC that you can sell your own services to be able to preside over an assembly such as this one? So those are practical questions that we need to answer, not only as young people. Remember, we are not going to be young forever. You are going to be adults. Your children are going to be young people. So then it means that we have an opportunity where we are sitting to be able to create opportunities for ourselves with the help that we are getting from government and the private sector in terms of what we can produce. Lastly, I come from AgriSeta and my colleague Dr. Bethal Etswalo. The question is, what is AgriSeta doing? We give out learnerships, skills programs, bursaries. Let me say we fund cooperatives, we fund young people in agriculture, we fund those that want to go and study agriculture, including even artisans. Those opportunities are available. So our coming here as AgriSeta is fundamentally not to say, to actually bother you in your sleep and say, are you going to do something, not only for yourself, but for this region of Mopani, to make sure that there is value that you are adding in the economy of Mopani. Because you see here, I believe there's big entrepreneurs that are sitting here. Some are going to be pastors if already are not pastors. Some of you are going to run bigger businesses and make shoes or even hats, or even my brother, I think, is also suing, is doing design and whatever the case may be. Some are going to run very influential companies. But the issue is, what is it that we are doing now? What is it that we are doing now? We can't wait forever. We can't wait until the sun rises and sets and keep on complaining. But keep on knocking on doors of government and the private sector for the support that you would need. Some of the interesting cases that are being shared here is of young people who's doing jam and other things. I mean, I'm asking a simple questions. There are avocados here. Ne? There are not, the avocados are around. The issue is, fish oil is very expensive. Why don't you go to Google or to YouTube and check how you can process an avocado to make avocado oil? You don't have to call anybody first. You can say, okay, I can make avocado from oil from avocado oil and use it to cook, but I don't know where to get the information. You go to an internet cafe or to your smartphone, you Google how it's been done. You check what is needed. On a small scale, you acquire the machinery, or you get people to help you to acquire those machines. Smaller nyan, you do a trial. Once you have done a trial, you can use the very same approach. You do a trial of pressing mango to create your own brand of juice. You follow me? You create your own brand of juice by collecting third-grade oranges, citrus, from close by white farmers that are selling them. And you do your own trial. You go to YouTube, you go to NYDA, you say, but I've got an idea here. I'm going to produce my village juice. You see? And then what are the ingredients that are needed? I've looked at this, I've looked at that. Then, I mean, there's no harm in trying. What am I lying? There is no harm in trying. Or else, we are going to have a problem that we are not going to solve, which is a problem of hunger. And you are the solution that has been born in this generation as young people to bring solutions and lead solutions of society to make this country a better country. So I'm saying this deliberately. I'm not presenting about anything. I'm just telling you that go and sleep and tell yourself what is it that you'd want to be. If you think you are what you want to be now, ask yourself a question. How far can I go beyond where I am today as a business person? You follow me? Simple as that. And you employ people, you create employment. But most importantly, you leave a legacy for your children. Because you are not going to be young forever like some of us. You see? Some of us are forever young. So you'd have to do that. I mean, I'm not going to go deeper. Some of you are doing hair. It's a serious business. It's a serious industry. Other hairs are pink and yellow. I think it's not natural. Ne? So you have to get products. You go to Google, you check. You go to YouTube and check. How do I create a product that can actually sell? You go to, how do I do my own braids? How do I run a salon? How do I make sure that you even run a laundry? Remember, how do you even make sure that you do your water purification plant, smaller than a water purification plant? You follow me? And you try it out. But most importantly, lastly on my side, go and look at the greatest stories of businessmen and women who succeeded in life. They didn't succeed overnight. Some of them tried several things. Some of them, they failed and went to work, came back and pursued another idea. Today, when you go to Barcelos and Nando's here, you are giving somebody money. Why don't you do your own burgers? Why can't you just sit and say, okay, December, I'm going to create a brand of burgers, takeaways or whatever. I'll drive in at this particular spot, sell whatever, and you put a trial to it. So in a nutshell, my fellow black brothers and sisters, you are the solution of this country in terms of employment, in terms of entrepreneurship. You are the solutions of this region, Yamopani, in terms of ensuring that the region grows. I thank you so much.
Let's have fun, guys.
Hello.
Let's go. Volume DJ. Iman, how? Let's have a party. Ho, ho. DJ, I need more volume on the monitor. More volume. Oh no no. Oh no no. If you know this song, I'm going to remember me. Hey. DJ, there's no sound on stage. There's no sound on stage.
Now you the catch my shot.
Hey, come on.
For your sake, I go touch you.
What? You go drive around for my apostle. Do you know Squatter Camp?
The track is called
no, yeah?
Featuring Reload.
Ah, you don't know the song. Yeah. I can't hear you.
Woza. Woza. Ha. Ha. Aritsa Mayiruna Dipache I want to see everybody standing up. Ne? Hands up. Way. To the left. Way. To the right. Everybody sing. DJ, we don't have volume. Way. Way. Guys, come on. Stand up. Let's go. Hands up. Way. To the left. Way. To the right. Everybody sing. Namtla sense umlad. Say. Evo. Ololo. Ololo. Asising hamba nawe. Aibo. Woza. Sising hamba nawe. Asewa. Two, shit. Change out my key, see, yeah. Who loves my piano? DJ, I need more volume. There's no sound on stage. I guess ready. 1, 2, 3, roll. Rosa. I get to winding a lot of my car. No, come on, the Baborela, let's go. Fill up the table. Cars are empty. Fill up the table. Cars are empty. Ladies scream. Niyaba Savana. Niyaba Savana. Let's go. Tina Sakruva. Hi. Tina Sakruva. Aruna Rechaiva. Aruna Rechaiva. Asfuni Mawaza. Arbaki Matata. You want some more? You want some more? She, hey! What's up? She. Yoshi. What? What? Let's go. Hey. ngihamba nawe. Do you guys love my piano? Do you guys love my piano? Ladies scream! Are you sure you love my piano? Are you sure? Sushi! Yes! Number one kwenda khosa. Aibo! Yebo! Ala gogo mezi patorile utalishangu nawe. Utalishangu nawe. Utalishangu nawe. Yebo ye! Nafamba ne? What? 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 Dancing to the next song. I want to see the ladies in green come and say, are you ready? Let's go. Say. 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 Malumu kulumile wati koni tengale. Hebati. Hebati. Malumu kulumile wati koni tengale. Hebati. Hebati. Oh la la. Oh la la. Hey wena. Hey wena. Arisa mayiruna. Arisa mayiruna. Dubache. Dubache. Ouch, me hurry your sent. DJ, pause. DJ, pause. Pause. DJ, pause.
What we gonna do right here is
DJ, pause.
Way back.
DJ, pause. Hey, DJ. Okay. So, before we found, I'm gonna call the ladies in green. The ladies in green. Ne? Yeah. So, nkomba yenkweni yima nglakumjonisa this other dance ne. Ingata endla. Ah, yungacha. Wena wathi wandlala problem. Where's everybody? Where's everybody? So, everybody must stand up, ne? I'm doing this dance. The song I'm gonna play, ne? Rina 40 years, it's very, very old. Me wait. So, I don't want to touch my hands. Why me touch my hands? Nolo. Where is she? Where's my manager? So, the dance, I'm not going ne? So the dance series, 1, ne? 2, then 3, then you stop, you go to the right, you go to the left, then you clap your hands, you go, me too sit, let's try, 1, 2, 3, rolls, out 1, rolls, out 2, rolls, out 3, let me try doing, then you stop, you go to the right, you go to the left, you take it up, then you clap your hands. Logoniku Zegete, you know what to do. Logoniku Devon Dogo Challenge, you know what to do. Logoniku Sepepen, it's out 1, out 2, out 3. But let me check this. No, I need you on top there, so you can capture this. If you know the song, sing along. Asa hambeno hono hiyoha hosa. Semupi. Masahambe no yo. Aibo. I need me too. This side, keep quiet. Now this side, Bambelela. Asahambe no yo. Aibo. Salupi. I got sorry. Asahambe no yo. Aibo. Salupi. Take it down. Asahambe no yo. I'm afraid. You know. Mikulungwari. Masahambe no yo. Woza asambe no. Siagubi. Siola lepe. The DJ is gonna play this song. Some of you might not know the song because it's very old, but let's have fun. Mapumelamos. DJ.
Back into time.
Rosa, you stop. You go to the alright. Out three, Shine Zanda. Piana, alright. Piana, out two. Piana, out three. Rosa, you stop. You go to the alright. Out two. Out three. Rosa. Zegate. Rose, whatever gangana. Usubo nena. Yebo yo. Rose da. Tupache. I say what? Out heaven goes out. Rosa, Asamba Toto, Piana, all 1, all 2, all 3, all 4, all 5, all 6, all 7, Shine Zanda, Tupache, Asawa, all 2. Everybody get out. I get out. Piana, come up. Shut up and say, get out. I get out. Piana, come up. Whoa, Gianni, we wanna party. What's up? Gianni, what? See Hambango lying. Whoa, see Hambango lying. What? See Hambango lying. We wanna see Hambango lying. hamba ngolayi. I say what? How to? Zegete, zegete, zegete. So, zegete. Zegete, 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 zegete. Nikuno one. Si hamba ngolayi. Si hamba ngolayi. Si hamba ngolayi. Si hamba ngolayi. Rose. Kuza koko, kuza. Kuza koko, kuza. Kuza koko, kuza. Kuza koko, kuza. Pumalum. 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 Oh le le. Ah la la. Oh le le. Ah la la. Oh le le. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ. Bye-bye. The golden oldies. So, nkarhi lowu wa ti-price ne wu fikile. Mhaka leya ti-500 ya ma yi tsundzuka. So tomorrow, Salim, please come. Ankon, what are we focusing on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are, okay, so I'm going to let the head of Empower Youth, actually when she does her vote of thanks, to actually just explain to us what tomorrow is all about. Is that okay? Okay. So Mina, I'm going to do what I'm always here to do. Firstly, where's the lady that helped me count the money? Yes, please come. Please give her a round of applause. What she has showed us is that it is very important to participate. So Yena, she wasn't just here because, but she participated. So thank you very much. Congratulations. Say that in the mic, please. She says, "Ushota camera. Ufuna ukushutiwa, abanye bashutiwe." So camera. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. When the CEO of TITA was here on stage, she spoke about, somewhere in her speech she mentioned stipend. Can somebody just run and tell us what stipend means? Okay, she's here. What does the word or the term stipend mean?
The word stipend, it means the amount that you'll be getting when you are, maybe you are on a learnership or training.
Did you guys hear that? Let me ask the teacher guys at the back, is it correct? Thank you very much, congratulations. I need one person who is going to tell me one name of the exhibitors that was outside. What is Tenteng?
MB2. MB2.
Is it okay? Let me hear from the service providers. What are the service providers saying? It's a thumbs up. Congratulations. Okay. Can I have another person? Can I have another person to tell me another exhibitor?